Hey everyone, it's Julie Hutchison here from Think, Be, Do Leadership. And the subject for today is why nobody is listening to you. Have you ever thought to yourself, why is it that nobody actually listens to a word I say? Or maybe you thought, I'm not going to say anything because I don't feel like anybody really hears what I'm saying, or they're not paying attention to me. And then you don't say anything because what's the point? Or maybe people just go about their business and you have all these great ideas, but they don't seem to be doing it in the way that you want them to do it. And perhaps you've given up speaking altogether, not altogether, but trying to get your new ideas or change people's minds about things because you're just not confident in the fact that people are going to listen to what you have to say. Well, you are not alone, because many quiet leaders, and everybody else really, but many particularly quiet leaders, I hear from them a lot around, well, I didn't want to say that, or I don't know how to say that, or they're not listening to me when I do say it. And what we find is that often it's because of one really simple thing that people aren't listening to you. And that is that you may well be talking what I call talking in the weeds. Okay, we give so much information sometimes, and because we know so much about our subject and we have so much to give and we're really knowledgeable and we're really good at what we do. But the problem is when somebody asks a question or we try and tell somebody something, we start at the bottom, let's say, in the weeds. And what that means is that there's too many things for us to disagree with. So when people are listening, they can't really hear what you've got to say, or they can't really hear why is it that you think this is a good idea. So what they're hearing is the doing, but what they're not hearing is why on earth should I even be listening to you? So what that means is that when you try to give them more information because they're not listening, then they're probably pushing back even more because they're then getting overwhelmed with all the stuff that you're telling them, but it's just not going in, it's not making sense. And they're sitting there thinking, oh, there's just too much information and I really don't get it and I'm not convinced anyway. And we call this the problem of being in the weeds, but in reality, it's a bit like chunking. So imagine this, if I said to you, I'm wearing this blue and white jumper today, so do you like my jumper? You might say, yeah, I love blue and white jumpers, or blue and cream actually, but I love those jumpers. Or you may say, oh God, Julie, no, I would never wear that. I'm a plain kind of guy or girl. Or no, I don't like jumpers at all. And so in those weeds, we have so many things that we can argue about. We have so many things that we can disagree with. Okay. But if I said to you, are jumpers a good idea? Then more people might think, well, yeah, they're a good idea. Although you may still get some people who say, no, I don't like jumpers at all. I like blouses or t-shirts or whatever. But if I were to what I call chunk up to the next level of, say, for example, well, do you think clothes are a good idea then? Then other than the small minority of those who love running around naked, probably people are going to say, well, yeah, actually, that's a good idea. Okay, so what that means is, take it back the other way, is if I could get people to agree with me that clothes were a good idea, then in reality, it doesn't matter whether I wear a jumper or a shirt, and then take it down even more deeply, it doesn't matter whether my jumper is blue and white or pink or purple or green, it doesn't really matter. Because the principle is should we be wearing clothes at all? No, I'm not going to have the naked argument here, but given that, when you're trying to convince somebody of something, when you're trying to speak up, this one thing will make a massive difference to whether people really listen to what you've got to say and agree with you. Because if you start to talk whether in the realms of blue or white jumpers, let's say, then they've got a lot of stuff to disagree with. But if you start chunking up your theories and your thoughts and what you're saying to people and take it up to the level at which we can agree, the level at which everybody would go, well, yes, of course. Well, when you get to that level, what that means is they're buying into your reason why. And of course, when they buy into your reason why, they're going to think, well, yeah, I get what he or she is saying. And then they're going to say, and yeah, it doesn't matter after that. I will do the thing that you want me to do because I know why you're asking me to do it. So give you an example, cleaning the floor, for example. Somebody might say, well, I don't want to clean the floor. But if you would say, well, you know what, I've got to make up an example now. All the Queen's coming and the floor's really dirty, and actually we want to, or some investors coming and we want them to invest in our company, and the floor's really dirty, and they're going to think that we don't care about a company. So we need to make an extra effort. Then somebody might say, oh, I see. Yeah, I really want to invest in the company. Yeah, I'm much more bought into cleaning the floor. Let's hope. But it's maybe not a great example, but it gives you an understanding of the level at which you're talking at, which is why are we asking people to do things? Now, whether you're asking them to do things or whether you are trying to convince them something else, just to do something in the style that you want them to do it, if you can talk at that chunked up level, you will have people on your side. But if you continue to be in the weeds, and so many people are, then you will never really change their mind. You'll just try and force them to do the thing that you want them to do. So it's a very big difference between that sort of wanting to do it for the right reason and just being told what to do. It's a bit like a parent-child relationship rather than adult-to-adult relationship. And so if you want to be heard and you want people to think, yeah, do you know what, you're making sense, then you need to start talking at that chunked up level. And this is the sort of stuff that we help our leaders, Launchpad delegates on all the time, where we want people to make an impact and we're helping them to speak up, but speak up in a way that actually interests people and gets people really going. So if you're interested in having more impact and influence, find out about our Leaders Launchpad, because it's coming soon, and you'll see that we're going to be starting a new cohort very, very soon. Give me a shout if that's something that interests you, and please comment below, have you ever been in the weeds, or whether you like blue and white jumpers or whether you like pink ones. Have a lovely day, and I shall look forward to seeing you, and hopefully we'll see you on the Leaders Launchpad. You take care.